well fucking done. Like, Dragon Ball Super submitting again on its fucking deathbed right there. Just right there. What is the biggest fucking problem with this show? And it's submitted. Why does every fucking time does it have to be the Goku and Vegeta show? And also as well, let's address firstly in this episode, Toei. We already saw that you can't do Super Saiyan 3 correctly. Don't do it again if you know you can't do it right. Now, regardless of why it isn't as bad as what, like, the first time that we had it, with, like, what, episode 3 or 4 of the show, but there was a fucking ton parts of this episode where it was just so off model, and it was so off key, like, going throughout this entire transformation where there's, like, we'll find out about this, like, whole big slime thing, which also as well, let's talk about that it's just a rip-off of Majin Buu. The show is ripping off its own material. Not where it's like, oh, it's derived from Majin Buu. No, it's just generally Majin Buu, like, absorption, where this thing just absorbs your powers and gets your traits. Like, kind of like how, like, when, like, Majin Buu, like, when he was, like, his evil form, it was like, oh, I'm going to absorb hit, like, you know, like, the big Buu, like, the kind Buu, like, that's how we got him by he ate, like, kind of like one of the, like, the big kind. It was like, yeah, that's how he turned, like, really nice and, like, docile after that point. Same thing is, like, when it absorbed Vegeta, it didn't want to absorb Trunks or, like Goten or anything, because his pride was like, no, I want to do it out of my own power. And they explain it as like, oh, well, we got the only like reliability that we got because Vegeta's going to disappear in like 3 or 5 minutes, like, because that's what happens after you use that. You just disappear after a while unless you can retrieve like the actual yell and, you know, kind of seal it again. So it's like, alright, then, like, why don't, like, in the episode then, why don't when like going to go take Super Saiyan 3 and all that, like, going into that, why don't they think the plan in any way they could seal, like, use some wits and triggers? I mean, you got Vegeta there, you got, like, Trunks and Goten, you got the old man there, but it's like, no, of course, like, fucking, like, Goku is on, like, fucking King Kai's planet doing Kamehamehas to himself. It's like, oh, I can hear Goku, like, you know, I can hear him all and all that. I'm gonna go over there. And Goku is the one that has to resolve it again. And it's my biggest fucking problem with this show. Why is it that whenever there's a problem now on this show, or why is it every time they get the highlights, it, like, everyone else gets shitted on, and yet again, it's Goku or Vegeta having to clear up the mess? It's the same problem that Universe 6 had, where, like, Vegeta forced, like, Piccolo to go out, and, like, that was completely out of his character at all to go from that, and it's thinking, like, well, like, you're like, oh, Vegeta's that strong now that, you know, you like, Super Saiyan 3, like, Gotenks is nothing. It's like, yeah, I guess, but couldn't that have been a really great moment for Gotenks, or even Trunks having a moment, like, he's getting stronger and stronger to, like, surpass his father at that point? And I still find it a little bit bullshit. It's like, at this point, oh, he's at base level now, like, you know, Super Saiyan 3, like, fusion is that's how irrelevant it is compared to, like, Vegeta and Goku. Like, wouldn't, like, Gotenks and wouldn't, like Trunks train at all during this time? I know they're training with God, so you can, like, say a little bit of, like, yeah, I'm not too sure on that, but regardless of what, Gohan is now just a fucking plain old bitch and all that. Like, he's just like, oh, I'm friendly, I make clouds. Like, even throughout the entire, the Frieza stuff and all that, oh, I think I can turn into a Super Saiyan, I'm not even sure, I might have forgotten about it. Same thing with, like, Goten and Trunks. Like, come on, you could have gave them such a really good moment, but no, it has to be Goku. And then even still, what's even more insulting is, like, you're really trying to live up to that nostalgia of what everyone had back in the day, or DBZ, where it's like Goku and Vegeta trying to fight, and it's like, really? Like, that's what you're trying to do, and it looks like fucking dog shit? Like, it absolutely looks like fucking trash. But Z, like, had some really bad... Yeah, Z had some bad moments, I know, in animation-wise and all that, and parts of it, but at least it was fluent animation, where it's just like one kick, and it's just like, or like punch, or just, like, screens and shots. Like, come on. At least it was like, they were fucking punching at it, they were going at it from blasters. Like, come on. I mean, I could go on about how fucking horrific the OST is. Like, I think everyone's gone about that. Like, we only care about the opening and ending, right? It's just like, I really hate that. It's like, oh my god, who the fuck orchestrated this? Like, come on. I think it's like, I'm more, like, getting pissed off with this, just more the fact that this is Dragon Ball Super that we're talking about here, and yeah, like, what we're gonna have, like, another, like, oh, I ruined Dragon Ball Super according to Toei. Like, you know, like, don't give Dragon Ball Super to fucking rookies. Don't give it to people that can barely hold the fucking pen in their hand yet. It wasn't just like, oh, like there was kind of screens. There was good moments where like characters were there on screen for a while and they looked really fucking bad off model. It's honestly not even that. Like it wasn't even as bad as what originally was foretold, like in the like previous episode, like with like Super Saiyan 3, like Goku versus Beerus. But just I was more pissed off about the fact that it's like, nope, Goten's like they can't have the moment to shine, but neither can Trunks. Like it has to be Vegeta and Goku, and then the whole moment that they're trying to like pay homage to looks like dog shit. You want to like exchange it for a moment, then actually have a really good payoff instead. I don't know, it's weird because I actually came off like last week's episode like, no, it was alright, it was fine, but then just seeing this episode is like, wow, this is just the fucking poor man's version of Boo, that they really could not think of anything else. And it's like, wouldn't it have been cooler, like honestly, if like Gotenks like came up with their like own like a bit like power, like, you know, saying like, yeah, we did this on our own, or if they tricked him, like they managed to get him into a hole or somewhere where he could steal his powers, or like either fuck it, you could have written like, oh, he's only got a bit of Vegeta's power, but once like he fully disappears, he got all of Vegeta's power. So then you could have something like that, like instead. But it's like, no, Goku has to fucking appear. So that's the thing, and it's like, wow, this is all we're fucking gonna get and all that. Like now that every single rest of the cast is invalid now. That like all we've got now is Goku and Vegeta. Like no more. We're gonna have those really cool moments of like Goten, Trunks, like any of them. I mean, I really hope this next arc really fucking addresses some of these issues. And I know like that's a filler episode, but it's like that's a point. Even if that's the whole point of like of this episode, it's like, oh, it's just like some tiny like, you know, it's for them to build up, you know, this like whole Vegeta, like, you know, and like the Black Goku stuff and going on to that. It's like, regardless of what, if you're gonna do something like that, you could at least have the payoff of like actual other characters having a moment. Like, come on, I'm not asking for Yamcha to have an entire episode to himself, but at least if like Gotenks is like the big thing in this episode of Super Saiyan 3, at least one, make it look good, and two, let him have a moment. Cause like I'm so tired of fucking Goku and Vegeta holding the fucking ropes all the time. Come on. It wasn't interesting. Like honestly, it just submitted. I need to finish just Dragon Ball. Like I just need to finish the original Dragon Ball. Like at this point, it's like, wow, you like honestly like Dragon Ball Super. You've really got impressive with this arc, because yeah, Universe 6 had like, you had the hit fight and that was all you had going for you. I really hope this next arc has something else, because yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm convincing a lot of people that good reasons to watch Dragon Ball Super. I'm gonna give this episode a fucking 3. I was honestly really ashamed like about this episode. I like Toei, like why does this look garbage, and why does your pre-cure stuff look fucking fantastic? Like come on, why didn't you get those people that can, I don't know, actually animate and like, you know, real do characters on model? Why didn't you get them on there instead, you know? Just saying. It's all for me though, so if you didn't care for this episode so much as I did, I'm so curious. I'm expecting a lot of dislikes on here, but it's like, it's an opinion, guys. You gotta remember that at the end of the day. If you enjoyed this episode, that's completely fine, but I could not stand this fucking episode at all. Like, it really annoyed me, like, just how much you have these characters that are begging for some screen time, that are begging, like, to have their moment of glory, and it's like, nope, even fucking clone Vegeta. Like, it's like, fuck out of there. So, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll see you guys next time.